My name is Jim Slattery, and I'm running for the United States Senate. I'm a fourth-generation Kansan who grew up in the farm community of Good Intent, originally settled by my ancestors in the 1860s. Like you, I was raised with Kansas values. I learned early the importance of faith, family, and community. Like you, I know the satisfaction that comes from a hard day's work. I grew up working on that family farm in Atchison County. I know what it feels like to lose everything. One of my earliest memories is of our family farmhouse burning to the ground in Atchison County. I know the pressure of starting a business. I co-founded a real estate company here in Topeka. I know the sense of accomplishment and exhaustion that comes from working while going to school, because I worked my way through Washburn University and Washburn University Law School. And I know what it feels like to serve in the military during a controversial war. I served in the Kansas Army National Guard during the Vietnam era. My mother and father taught me to accept personal responsibility, to think independently, and that each of us has the power to make our community better and the duty to try. And it's in this spirit that I announced my candidacy for the United States Senate. Thank you. I am running for office because the United States Senate is simply not getting the job done. The future of our economy is unstable and uncertain. Our reliance on foreign oil has created a national crisis, and it has created a budget crisis for many Kansas families. And our nation is engaged in a tragic and costly war. Like you, I have been observing the federal government from the outside, watching the breathtaking incompetence and indifference of our political leadership. I cannot, in good conscience, continue to sit on the sidelines and watch career politicians lead this country in the wrong direction. We can do better, and we must do better. Our country's economy is unstable due to the reckless spending policy of career politicians in both political parties. In 2001, the federal government had a budget surplus of $250 billion. We were actually talking about paying off our national debt. What an incredible legacy this would have been to leave our country debt-free for the next generation. But unfortunately, the career politicians in both parties went on a spending spree, and today we have added $3 trillion to our national debt since 2001. This policy of spend and borrow is intergenerational robbery. It's wrong, and we must come together to change it and stop it before it is too late. The politicians expect our children and grandchildren to pay their bills. A reckless fiscal policy threatens the economic security of our country. We feel the effects every time we fill up our car with gas. Kansans pay $3.50 a gallon at the gas pump, while international oil companies record record profits, and too many in Washington just simply look the other way. It's time our nation approaches the cost of energy as a serious threat to our national security. We must do everything we can to reduce our dependence on foreign oil, and it's time to enact tough, meaningful energy policy at the federal level. And finally, our nation is engaged in a tragic and costly war that has taken the lives of more than 4,000 of our best and bravest young men and women. The United States entered the war in Iraq based on inaccurate intelligence data and assumptions that defy Kansas common sense. As the war continues to cost more than $10 billion a month, the total cost of this war will surely exceed $4,000 for every man, woman, and child in Kansas. That will be just the Kansas share of the cost of this war. Every person who has served in Iraq and in Afghanistan, as far as I'm concerned, they are American heroes. And we should make sure that they receive all the assistance they need and their families need while they're gone and when they return. We must make sure that these veterans are not treated like the Vietnam veterans were treated a generation ago. In November, the people of Kansas will have an important choice to make. Do we want to continue on the same course, or do we want to change? That will be the choice that Kansans have to make. Career politicians in both political parties really care more about the next election than the next generation. Partisan gridlock in Washington must end. I am determined to be a senator who will help unify our country by bringing Republicans and Democrats and independents together to find the best solutions for the difficult problems facing this country. I know I face a difficult race. My opponent is an entrenched career politician who went to Washington before Neil Armstrong landed on the moon. I face someone who, for all the good he may have done, has stayed in office too long. He has become part of what we must change if we are to get our country back on track. Senator Pat Roberts supported the reckless fiscal policy and Iraq war policy of the Bush-Cheney administration, and they owe him a lot for his loyalty. I am hopeful about the future of Kansas because of my faith in God and my fellow Kansans. I was taught not to make promises that I cannot keep. With that in mind, I make you these promises. I will be an independent voice in the United States Senate for Kansas. I will always put the people of Kansas ahead of any political party. And I will use every ounce of God-given energy and strength that I have to solve the big problems this country is facing. In the Gospel of Luke, we are taught that to whom much is given, much is required. As Americans, as Kansans, we have been very blessed. I feel like I have had the opportunity to live the American dream, and I still believe in the American dream. And I want every young Kansan to know that with hard work and determination, they can overcome obstacles and go as far as their talents will take them. I invite all Kansans, Democrats, Republicans, and independents to join me in this campaign in Kansas this year to change the United States Senate. My mother used to tell me that it is better to light a candle than curse the darkness. This year, let's not curse the darkness in Washington. Let's light a candle for change in Kansas. I'm Jim Slattery, and I'm running for the United States Senate. I need your help. I ask for your vote and your support. And with it, and working together, I believe we can change this country. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you all. Okay.